The Nordic countries are known for their peace. These nations, including Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland and Iceland, have long been celebrated for their tranquil environments, high quality of life, and strong social welfare systems. Their landscapes, from the fjords of Norway to the forests of Finland, reflect a serene and harmonious way of life. They have long embraced neutrality. Historically, these countries have chosen to stay out of major conflicts, focusing instead on diplomacy and peaceful resolutions. Their neutral stance has allowed them to act as mediators in international disputes and to host significant peace talks. But the world is changing. Global dynamics are shifting rapidly, with new threats emerging and old alliances being tested. The once stable geopolitical landscape is now marked by uncertainty and volatility. The Nordic nations are now preparing for war. This preparation is not just about increasing military capabilities, but also about ensuring that their forces are ready to respond to any potential threats. Military exercises and training sessions have become more frequent and intense. This is a major shift. For countries that have prided themselves on their peaceful stance, this move towards militarization represents a significant change in policy and mindset. Government officials are now regularly discussing military strategies and defense policies. It reflects the new realities of global security. In today's interconnected world, threats are not just physical but also digital. Cybersecurity has become a critical component of national defense, and the Nordic countries are investing heavily in this area. The invasion of Ukraine by Russia has been a wake-up call. This aggressive action has highlighted the fragility of peace and the potential for conflict, even in regions that were once considered stable. The Nordic countries have watched these events unfold with growing concern. It has shown that peace is fragile. The images of conflict and the stories of those affected have resonated deeply with the people of the Nordic countries, reminding them that peace cannot be taken for granted. The Nordic countries are now taking steps to protect themselves. This includes not only bolstering their military presence, but also enhancing their border security and conducting regular defense strategy meetings. They are increasing their military spending. Significant portions of national budgets are now being allocated to defense, with governments making public announcements about their commitment to national security. They are strengthening their defenses. New fortifications are being constructed and advanced defense systems are being deployed. Soldiers are being trained with the latest equipment to ensure they are prepared for any scenario. They are preparing their citizens for the possibility of conflict. Civil defense drills and educational programs on conflict preparedness are being conducted regularly. Citizens are being trained in emergency response, ensuring that the entire nation is ready to face any potential threats. The Russia-Ukraine conflict is a turning point in modern history. It has not only reshaped the geopolitical landscape, but also brought to the forefront the fragility of peace in Europe. The echoes of this conflict are felt far and wide, reverberating through the corridors of power and the lives of ordinary citizens. It has shattered the illusion of peace in Europe, a continent that has long prided itself on stability and unity. The war has exposed underlying tensions and vulnerabilities that many thought were relics of the past. The sense of security that once blanketed Europe has been pierced, leaving nations to grapple with new realities. The Nordic nations, known for their picturesque landscapes and progressive societies, are particularly vulnerable. These countries, often seen as bastions of peace and neutrality, now find themselves on the front lines of a new kind of warfare. The proximity to Russia, a nation with a history of aggressive posturing, adds to their sense of urgency. They share borders with Russia, a country that has demonstrated its willingness to use force to achieve its geopolitical aims. This geographical reality has always been a factor in their foreign policy, but the current conflict has heightened the stakes. The shadow of war looms large over these nations, influencing their strategic calculations. Historically, the Nordic countries have relied on diplomacy and dialogue to navigate their complex relationship with Russia. They have championed international cooperation and conflict resolution, often serving as mediators in global disputes. However, the changing security environment demands a different approach, one that balances diplomacy with preparedness. The new security environment demands a different approach. Modern military exercises and increased defense spending are now part of the Nordic strategy. These nations are investing in their military capabilities, conducting joint exercises, and enhancing their readiness to respond to potential threats. The focus is on building a robust defense posture that can deter aggression and ensure stability. Hybrid warfare is another major concern. This form of conflict blurs the lines between traditional and unconventional tactics, making it difficult to identify and respond to threats. It encompasses a range of activities from cyber attacks to disinformation campaigns, all designed to destabilize and undermine the target nation. This refers to the use of unconventional tactics that can be just as devastating as conventional military operations. Cyber attacks can cripple critical infrastructure, while disinformation campaigns can sow discord and erode trust in institutions. The goal is to weaken the target from within, making it more vulnerable to external pressures. These include cyber attacks, disinformation campaigns, and economic pressure. Each of these tactics is designed to exploit specific vulnerabilities, creating a multifaceted threat that is challenging to counter. Cybersecurity teams are on the front lines, working tirelessly to defend against these invisible attacks. Russia has used these tactics against its neighbors in the past, with varying degrees of success. The lessons learned from these encounters are shaping the current strategies of the Nordic nations. They are acutely aware of the need to bolster their defenses against such hybrid threats, recognizing that the battlefield is no longer confined to physical space. The Nordic nations are now preparing to defend themselves against these threats as well. They are enhancing their cyber defenses, investing in new technologies, and fostering international cooperation to build a resilient security framework. The goal is to create a comprehensive defense strategy that can address both traditional and hybrid threats, ensuring the safety and stability of the region. Sweden has a long tradition of neutrality. For decades, this Scandinavian nation has prided itself on staying out of military conflicts, maintaining a stance of non-alignment even during the most turbulent times in history. This policy has allowed Sweden to focus on building a peaceful and prosperous society, free from the direct impacts of war. However, the global landscape is changing, and with it, Sweden's approach to national security. But the country is now taking steps to strengthen its defenses. In response to growing geopolitical tensions and the evolving nature of threats, Sweden has recognized the need to bolster its military capabilities. This includes modernizing its armed forces, conducting more frequent and comprehensive training exercises, and investing in advanced technology to ensure that its defense forces are well prepared for any potential scenarios. Sweden has joined NATO, a military alliance. This marks a significant shift in its defense policy, aligning itself with other member nations to collectively ensure security and stability in the region. By joining NATO, Sweden aims to benefit from the shared resources, intelligence, and strategic support that the alliance offers, thereby enhancing its own defense posture. It has increased its military spending. Recognizing the importance of a robust defense budget, Sweden has allocated additional funds to procure state-of-the-art military equipment, improve infrastructure, and support research and development in defense technologies. This financial commitment underscores the nation's dedication to maintaining a strong and capable military force. It is also preparing its citizens for the possibility of conflict. Understanding that national security extends beyond the military, the Swedish government is actively engaging with its citizens to ensure they are well informed and ready for any emergencies. This includes organizing community workshops, safety drills, and public awareness campaigns to educate people on how to respond effectively in times of crisis. The Swedish government has distributed pamphlets to households. These pamphlets are part of a comprehensive effort to provide every household with essential information on emergency preparedness. They are designed to be easily understood and accessible, ensuring that all citizens, regardless of age or background, can take the necessary steps to protect themselves and their families. These pamphlets provide advice on how to prepare for a crisis. They cover a wide range of topics, from basic survival skills to more specific instructions on what to do in various emergency situations. The goal is to empower citizens with the knowledge they need to stay safe and resilient in the face of potential threats. They cover topics such as food storage, first aid, and how to create an emergency plan. By following the guidelines provided, families can ensure they have enough supplies to last through a crisis, know how to administer basic medical care, and have a clear plan of action in case they need to evacuate or take shelter, and what to do in the event of an attack. These drills and instructions are crucial for building a culture of preparedness and resilience. By practicing these scenarios, citizens can react more swiftly and effectively, reducing panic and increasing their chances of staying safe during an actual emergency. The Swedish government's proactive approach aims to ensure that the nation is ready to face any challenges that may come its way. Finland shares a long border with Russia. It has a history of conflict with its larger neighbour. Finland is now taking steps to bolster its defences. It has increased its military spending. It has also strengthened its ties with NATO. Finland has launched a website called 72tuntia.fi. This website provides information on how to prepare for a crisis. It covers topics such as emergency supplies, evacuation routes, and how to stay informed. Section 5. Norway and Denmark. Strengthening defences. Norway and Denmark are both members of NATO. They are also increasing their military spending. Norway is strengthening its defences in the Arctic. Denmark is focusing on maritime security. Both countries are working closely with their NATO allies. Norway and Denmark are also preparing their citizens for the possibility of conflict. They have distributed information pamphlets. They have also conducted public awareness campaigns. Section 6. The digital battlefield. Cyber attacks are a growing threat. The Nordic countries are particularly vulnerable. They have highly digitalized economies. They rely heavily on technology. This makes them targets for hackers. The Nordic countries are working to strengthen their cyber defenses. They are investing in new technologies. They are also cooperating with each other and with their international partners. Section 7. Public reactions from concern to calm. Public opinion in the Nordic countries is divided. Some people are concerned about the increased military activity. They worry that it could lead to conflict. Others believe that it is necessary to deter aggression. Overall, however, there is a sense of calm in the Nordic countries. People trust their governments to keep them safe. They are confident that their countries are prepared for whatever the future may hold. Section 8. NATO's embrace security and risk. The accession of Sweden and Finland to NATO is a significant development. It strengthens the alliance's presence in Northern Europe. It also sends a strong signal to Russia. However, NATO membership also carries some risks. It could make the Nordic countries targets for Russian aggression. It could also draw them into conflicts that they would prefer to avoid. Section 9. A changing world order. The world is becoming a more dangerous place. The Nordic countries are adapting to this new reality. They are moving away from their traditional neutrality. They are embracing a more active role in global security. The future is uncertain, but the Nordic countries are determined to defend their security and their way of life. They are working together. They are cooperating with their allies. They are preparing for whatever the future may hold.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.